When we're learning how to do techniques in postural restoration, one thing that you eventually learn about is references. And references are parts of your body that you have to resense in order to feel the appropriate muscles that you're trying to feel. So if a technique says left hamstring, uh, you're not really doing a left hamstring exercise. That's why I don't like to call them exercises. What you're doing is you're sensing your body in a particular position. You're sensing your pelvis in a particular position. Your brain is sensing these things, and you're feeling pressure from a surface, either underneath the right foot or the left foot, depending on what technique you're doing. And you're feeling pressure from the ground so that you can then feel the muscle in question. But you're not doing a left hamstring exercise. If you think of it like that, you're not going to do it as effectively as it could be done. It's great to feel a left hamstring, but is your brain necessarily associating that left hamstring with the ability to move forward as you walk? Because that's what PRI is, breathing and walking without compensation. Without those references, your brain won't know how to use that left hamstring because it doesn't make sense to it. That's why people say, well, can I just do left hamstring exercises or right glute or left ab, whatever it's going to be? Can I just go to the gym and do it? No, because, well, you could, but it's not going to change a pattern, because you could do a left hamstring curl or a deadlift or do whatever the hell you want, but your brain is not associating that movement, that exercise, with walking. And that's what PRI is doing. You cannot, if you're in pain, idiopathic pain, meaning you don't know where the origin is, it's not from injury, or look, there could be injuries in the past, but this is not directly from injury. If it's not from an injury, it's not from sickness, illness, anything like that, I just can't figure out where it's coming from, you cannot walk and breathe without compensation. I'm very confident in saying that. Doing gym exercises will not change that situation, because gym exercises is not walking, and it's definitely not breathing, because no one's breathing properly. These techniques are re-allowing you. They're allowing you to relearn how to walk and breathe without compensation, and you need references to do that. Why? So what is a reference? The three that I talk about, the two that I talk about the most, are the arch of the right foot and the heel of the left foot. So the dictionary meaning of a reference is the use of a source of information in order to ascertain something. The use of a source of information in order to understand something, to know something. You use these references. So with the right foot, you've got a right arch and a right big toe. Why? Your brain senses pressure from the ground coming up underneath that right arch and that right big toe to tell it to turn to the left, to abduct the right leg using the right glute, if you know how to do it properly, as you rotate your torso and pelvis to the left and making left heel contact, because that's where you are in the gait cycle, in the stage of moving forward that you're in. That's what happens with the right arch and the right big toe. You're making that transition to the left leg. So in order for your brain to know how to do that effectively, it has to sense this pressure from the floor. If the leg is in the air, it doesn't know that. I'm going to qualify that. It could, depending on what you're doing with the left side, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Just accept it as this. When you're walking, the only way that your brain knows where you are and where you're going and at what speed and what to do next is by sensing the ground. So here's heel strike. It knows heel strike on the right pretty well because that's how you're living. And then boom, that floor, that ground comes up. That's what your brain perceives. It's as the right foot is pronating. So you got that meeting of pronation of the right foot and the ground coming up. That relationship right there tells your brain time to push to the left, and then you push through with the right big toe. And as long as your left side is engaging appropriately at that point in time, because your brain knows how to do it, you'll land on your left leg without going into compensation, without extending your back, and you can then stabilize yourself on that left side. So it needs the right arch, the right big toe, but to get a complete picture, think of them as GPS coordinates. These GPS coordinates, references, are telling your brain where you are. But you need another GPS coordinate on the left side, and that's called the left heel, because our transition point where we get stuck in life We get stuck in transition points a lot. That's why there are ceremonial rites. As humans develop, you have to transition from childhood to, infancy to childhood, from childhood to young adult, communions, bar mitzvahs, all those things, wedding ceremonies. Some cultures have, not probably anymore, but if you read about some more cultures that are, hunter-gatherer culture type deals, they have some brutal initiation rites where the child has to learn he's no longer being protected by the mother. So you can read about that in like anthropology stuff. But at any rate, we have to get through transitions in life, and that's a time of great stress for a lot of people. For me, it was like finishing college. That was a big transition, but there's transitions throughout life, and we have to get through them. And the transition that we're talking about in PRI is getting off of that right leg and to the left side. At some point, your body, that right side, has to completely let go and trust the left side of the body to accept your body weight and not fall down and get hurt. That transition point, right arch, right big toe, has to coincide with the left heel in order for that to occur, in order for your brain to say, I'm not going to fall down to the left nor to the right. I'm going to stay stable and not get hurt. So if you cannot use these GPS coordinates during your techniques, if you do not know how to use them, and if you haven't gotten real instruction from someone who really knows what they're doing, you're probably not doing it correctly as it was intended with maximum benefit, let's put it that way. I don't want to insult anyone's intelligence, but again, these are not exercises like gym exercises. That reference has to give you a sense of, I know where I am, I know where I'm going, I know who I am. So think of Star Wars or Return of the Jedi. And if you've never watched these movies, if you think they're like child movies or something, these are deep movies. All the lessons of life, all the world's accumulated knowledge is in those movies. Why? Because they're all based off the work of Joseph Campbell. If you don't know who if you're struggling in life and you don't know who Joseph Campbell is, shame on you. Look it up. No, shame on your teachers who never told you who Joseph Campbell is. He's got all the accumulated knowledge of the world, all the accumulated wisdom of how to be happy, how to be satisfied with life, all in his books. Highly recommend it. At any rate, we were not taught properly. I don't know about the educational systems anywhere else in the world. The United States school system, when I grew up, and probably way before, they don't teach you shit. Sorry. They teach you how to get a job. Go to college, get a job, be a worker, work for the man, make him money. They don't teach you about happiness. References. They're giving you the wrong references. They're saying, hey, be a worker bee. Just be part of the assembly line. That's the industrialization of the United States. That went from agrarian culture, farmer culture, to industrialization, where you became just a drone. You became a drone. And you're just on the assembly line. You are, what do they call you? They don't even call you a worker anymore. They call you a labor cost. Can you imagine? You are a labor cost to your employer. And that's what, hey, it's the capitalist way, but sometimes there's some excess in this capitalist way, although I think it's still the best way. At any rate, where am I getting off topic? Oh, what if your references for who you are in life? Oh, Darth Vader, that's what I was getting back to. Remember, there's a scene in Return of the Jedi. Luke is brought to Darth Vader, and Darth Vader says, oh, you finally accept the truth that I'm your father. And Luke says, no, I accept the fact that you were once Anakin Skywalker, my father. And Darth Vader says, that name no longer has any meaning for me. Darth Vader lost his references. For whatever reason, he went to the dark side. He got lost. Power. That's probably what it was about. Power. When you are seeking things in the material world, such as power, money, fame, status, you have the wrong references. You are going to be on the cycle of dissatisfaction. You obtain one thing, you're still not happy. Oh, it must be found in somewhere else. Oh, it's when I have that. Oh, it's when I have that. Gee, I'm so unhappy I can't figure it out. Because you have the wrong references. You just do. We, as people, this educational system, never taught you about happiness, probably. I got one class on happiness in college. One. It was the last lecture given by a business teacher. And it's like, interestingly, it was the most popular class at the University of Maryland. So that should tell you something. One lecture, an hour lecture on happiness. And, you know, his big thing was sell big things so you can get a big commission. I'm not sure why he was giving this lecture. But anyway, people are dying for happiness. I mean, look at all the anger in the world, in the United States right now. People are living inauthentic lives because they have the wrong references. They can only feel good about themselves when they're putting down other people. You see it I mean, Twitter. Oh my God, I never go on Twitter, thank God. But I checked it out, some of the stuff. It's just constant, just people make themselves feel stronger by belittling others and by making other people feel terrible. It's just wrong. They have the wrong references. Or they don't have any references at all and they just can't find the right references. Darth Vader had the wrong references. You don't want to be Darth Vader. The question then becomes, what are the good references? Well, that's something you got to figure out on your own. I highly recommend reading Joseph Campbell's books. But in terms of PRI, your brain trying to figure out where you are in space so that it can activate the muscles properly so you can establish the old pattern. See, Luke was saying that to Darth Vader that you are still Anakin Skywalker. I don't care what type of references you've had, they're still good in you. And Darth Vader just can't see it. He said it's too late. But you're not too late. With PRI, you can reestablish that left side pattern because it's already neurologically programmed into you. You have just forgotten it. Your references have become the outside of your right foot and the arch of your left foot, maybe too much right peripheral vision, too much sense of your right hip, too much sense of your right molars. Your brain thinks that over here, over on this right side, is where you should be, and it's not. You just need to get the left side back into your life through references and feeling your body, sensing your body. If you are unhappy in life, you have the wrong references. It's out there. It's right in front of you. You're just looking at the wrong things. You're looking at the material world. And again, there's a reason that all the world's accumulated wisdom says the material world is bubkiss. The material world is not where it's found. I highly encourage you to go on if you want to feel better with your body, yet you're working a 9 to 5 that you hate and you feel like you're wasting your life and your job is, your boss is overbearing and you hate the people you work with and the workplace is toxic. And I know right now everything's on hold, but hopefully things will get back to normal. Do you want to go back to that? You know, you might at some point try to go back to Anakin Skywalker. Think about what you wanted to be before Darth Vader took over. Hopefully you have that choice. I know not everyone who is in a situation that they have that choice completely, but you may want to start thinking about it. Because I can tell you from my own experience, I became Anakin Skywalker just because I didn't know what else to do. I was doing IT work, hated it, my life was miserable. I let all that go, and here I am making videos for the YouTube world and hopefully helping people in the process. So find your references in life. Right arch, right big toe, left heel. You'll be on a much better path towards the light, the light side of the force, not the dark side, the good side. That's what we want, which is the left. The right side's not bad, but you don't want to overuse it. Have a good day.